The following video series will provide many perspectives through the personal narratives of elders and recognized knowledge holders. These videos will also explore how the dispossession of land from Indigenous peoples took place throughout what is now called Canada. This project is intended for educational use only. In our words. As Indigenous peoples, our ways of knowing are strongly connected to our history, land, animals, and the sky. It is through our history that we will be guided into the future. Our words and our land are the truth.
I think it means that you're wearing different shoes now, and your life is not the same, like that. Now that's the way it was explained to me by my dad. He said, when you're not wearing your own shoes anymore. I already know that I'm not going to sleep because I know the deals that were made, Kandan Basidish. I won't sleep because I'm thinking too much, the deals that were made, between the people and the native people, it's not the right deals. So that's the way my dad explained it. So he said, how can you sleep, he said, when you've been cheated out of everything? Of course, he really put the words in,
We never surrendered no land, and if you go to war with another nation and you lose and you don't surrender your land, and you don't even, not even then, because look at Japan when they did that Hiroshima bomb. They surrendered, but Japan is still Japan. They're independent. Where we should be right now is in a clan system, and that's our own system of government, our governance. We used to be in the hereditary system, but that system became an ego-based system. This is who we are. This is the system that we're supposed to be under here, not the elective system.
So the Crown, when they went into treaty with the Anishinaabe, they were actually a nation of people. And they had a land base, they had a government. The Crown dissolved because of democracy. I mean, England actually became a democratic population of people. The Crown is simply not a nation anymore. It's actually a royal family that owns land in certain parts of the world, but they have no actual power to honor these treaties. And so nation to nation with who? We've been banging our heads on an empty castle now for 100 years. We have land issues, huge land discrepancy issues that have to be made with. That has to be included. This discussion has to be included. Because the whole idea or notion that we have no land doesn't sit well with me. You know, because our people are starving and we have no economic base, we have no land.
New Canadians come in and need to know the true history. They did not know that there was a piece of legislation that is there. It documents that these savages are a problem and we need to get rid of them. I'm mad. I never show that anger towards my own people, but we need to prosper somehow. And it goes back to the lineage people that were there, not the hereditary chiefs, but the people that were there. What bloodlines are still contained today. They have to come forward and say, okay, on behalf of my 7th grandfather, we're here to renegotiate what these truly mean. Because none of them are being honored. And what's being affected is the whole entire environment is crumbling.
Here's the problem that we're running into now, is that Canada inherited these colored titles that what they call treaties. They use them for a free-for-all in resource extraction, which is causing abrupt, irreversible climate change. And so I believe that it's time to move away from those agreements and to start working with real people on real issues that are very tangible in terms of how can we help the ecosystems. And the hope lies in regular people. It doesn't rely on these ideations of treaty with the Crown. The sun set on the Crown on the British Empire a long time ago. Actually, I think we should make agreements with the buffalo or the fish, because this human-to-human stuff is not working out, and it's not doing the natural world any favors.
There's quotes that come down through history that where the government agreed. These are a free and independent people. So in that is where the inherent rights lie. That we need the next generations to really start to pull the layers up, keep pulling the layers off, so that they can do what I'm doing, and so that they can hold the government to account. Because if you don't know your history, how do you sit across the table from Director General or whoever? How do you sit across the table and defend your cause or defend your community's history? How do you do that if you don't know the history? It's important.
Educate yourself about the truth. Find out the history of that land. Educate yourself. Become aware of that history of that land. To share that with the new students, to share that with your teachers, share that with your principals, share that out. Help us spread the truth about the land. Build a relationship with your local First Nation and community members.
We have to think about the history of our people and what they've been through and where we're at currently. We're so hard on our people, our own people, with each other, But it's like we have the residential school system, we have the Indian Act. There's a generation that's there that there's been a disconnect because the transfer of knowledge didn't happen because there was a generation that was taken away. And so that's where, the impacts of, that's what we're living today. And it's like, okay, this generation that's, running our reserve, they can't connect because that spirit is not there. Because the hereditary chiefs, they're gone now. There's some people that don't even know that they're from those lines, that they are hereditary chiefs. The responsibilities from our clan systems, people don't know their clans, they don't know their names, they don't know that we came here with these gifts that the Creator gave us. It's still there. It's still in our communities. There's still language speakers. It's a small speck in the whole aspect of things, but it's still there. That's the thing. So if we can just, ignite that and empower our people to believe in our own ways then I believe that we can, stand our people back up again, to believe in our ways.
Treaty means agudiwin. Agudiwin means whatever you have, you'll always retain that. You'll always have that. You'll have the land. You'll have the everything. You always have that. But what we give you will be on top of what you have. Agudiwin. That's what that means. Doesn't mean a right. It means agudiwin. That's what that means.